Hi everyone and welcome to another video. This is going to be a little bit different because it's not bullet journaling, but it is my first junk journal flip through. I actually finished this at the end-ish of last year and I am just now flipping through it for you guys. I honestly kind of forgot about it because I was so happy with how it turned out. I just wanted to like revel in the moment that I finished one and I was so excited, but I guess I'll just start out with my little experience with this. So I didn't realize how fun junk journaling would be. My family's always been big into scrapbooking and stuff, and I didn't really realize that I could do it without necessarily photos. And it took me a while to actually get the hang of junk journaling because it was just so different to me and I was so perfectionist with it that it took me actually a long time before I actually went back to spreads and actually like did it how I think junk journaling's meant to be done, if that makes any sense. So I actually got this from Caitlin of Sunshine and Stationery. She has made me all of my junk journals. She's so good at sending me them. So this is the one I'm in right now and it's gorgeous. I love it. It's A5 size. I love this so much. I've started it and I'm not really happy with how it's turning out so far, but it'll change. That's how I was with this one too, and now I am in love with this one. And then she just recently sent me this one and it's all doc grid pages, so I might actually use this for quotes and stuff rather than junk journaling, but this one is solely my first junk journal and I am in love with it. I love how it turned out and I am so glad I was talked into trying it thanks to Caitlin. I actually left a note on here from her ever since she sent it to me, and as I go through this I'll probably share the little stories and stuff in it just to show how much this can be kind of like a memory keeping kind of thing, because I know a lot of people that I talked to, they were kind of in the same boat that I was, where you know, oh, I don't understand how it works, why do people do this kind of thing, but I am in love with this system now. It's amazing. So without further ado, let's begin. So opening it up, I just have a few little tidbits, like everything in here kind of has a story, and that's kind of what I really like about this junk journal, is that there's so many big things in it. So all of this was from a happy mail that I got from Denise of Stationery Satellite, and I love all this stuff here. This was actually one of the last things I did. I didn't actually go linear in this journal. I actually started like on just pages I wanted to start on, and then once something clicked in my brain and I realized that that was actually how I don't know, it was just like, there's no wrong way to junk journal, but there definitely is a knack to it, I think, where you have to kind of like push past like any perfectionist or, you know, like perfectionist or just neat freak tendencies that you have, because that's not what junk journaling is about. Anyway, but this little credit card thing in here, I just want to share this. So this was a thing I got in the mail, and Austin, well, no, wait, I think it was actually one that Austin got. And he was rubbing it in my face that he was getting a credit card, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is just like a little, like, cardboard one or whatever. And he felt bad. He was rubbing it in my face, so he wrote my name on it. And then he did, like, the black stripe on the back. He tried so hard. So, you know, it's just little things like that that I think are really cool that junk journaling is able to, you know, have in it. Like, this was from a Mary Kay thing, but I just put my, you know, I just put it in the front because I had my name on it. A lot of this stuff is either from my scrap stash or just from Happy Mail in general. My dad leaves me notes, or he did anyway, almost every morning, because I would miss him in the morning, or I would get up earlier than he would, or he would get up earlier than I would, and he would leave me notes every morning. He doesn't really do it anymore because he's a lot busier now. So I still have a bunch of these notes in my bags. Like, I still have some in my book bag from college that I could use too. But I kept them all because, you know, why not? And then this one was another note, and this was actually from the night after the first assignment I did for my astronomy homework. We went out to our pond, and he helped me with it. He was like super into it every time we went out there, so I just made a little spread remembering all of that. This was a little thing. This is actually one of the spreads I did last. Like, I didn't do front to back. Like I said, I was having trouble a really long time throughout it, like figuring out how to exactly I was supposed to go about junk journaling. I was way too stressed about it, guys. Like, you should not stress about junk journaling if you're trying it out. Don't be like me. But this spread it's super simple. You know, this is just a stamp I got from on an envelope from Happy Mail. This is just something from my mom. This is a note that my friend left me. She literally stopped by my house at like 11 o'clock at night and texted me and said, "Hey, look outside." And she wasn't there, but there was this note, and there was a single orange rose, because orange is my favorite color. And she left this little note saying that she appreciates me being her friend, and it was just so cute, and it was, you know, something I wanted to remember. So now that it's in here, I'm always going to remember it. Because, you know, I don't have a photo of her giving me the flower or anything like you would normally put in like a scrapbook, but at least with junk journaling, you know, you can take like ephemera and stuff and just like put it in a book and you're still gonna remember it. This was just from a Happy Mail. This was a name tag from my dad's jam session with all of his guitar lesson students, and since I'm one of them too, I had to have a name tag, so that was from the Feelin' Free for All. It's just like in this little pocket, and now I can't get it back in there because I'm smart. I am smarter than the junk journal, I promise. Okay, it's just gonna stay like that, I guess, because it's not going back in. These are tickets from when I went to Cars 3 with my dad, and our receipt for our snacks and stuff. This is a sticky note, kind of letter note thing from Kayla from our first Happy Mail that she sent me. These are just little things I found in a magazine that I had that I cut out and just added. I didn't know what to do with the spread. I had added the washi and the sticker thinking that would kick something off, and just nothing ever did. And so since Howl's Moving Castle is one of my favorite books and movies, I took my book and I just wrote word for word however long this is. I think it's like the first page or something. Just so, you know, it's something there, and, you know, if I ever want to be swept away to that land again briefly, I can just read it, I guess. This is just a spread helping me remember the Galesburg trip I took with my friend Nicole to the warehouse and stuff. Dick Blick, and these were just a bunch of the things from the sale ad. This was actually almost a year ago. This was from National Scrapbook Day. I was double teaming as both a new graduate, so I was getting a bunch of like graduation cards, and this is just a note of me remembering who all gave me cards from my scrap mamas. This is just of how the day went, with some little decorations. This is my mom's plan for the entire thing. I helped her make these lettering things and also like the name tags and stuff, and I also had a big Mary Kay thing that entire day. It was like a literal 12-hour event I was at trying to sell Mary Kay. So that was just a whole spread and a half, I guess, if you include the little card here. And I had just taken the back of the card, added some scrapbook paper to the back, and then added this little tag piece of paper on it. This is These Moments, so, I mean, it's really just a bunch of layering paper most of the time. A few days after that, I went to career conference, and this is just me, having my memories all over it. This was a card I got. These were the people that went. Some more notes on it. This is our room key tag or whatever. We couldn't take the actual card. I was sad, but this is, you know, that was part of the journey, I guess, and then I just decorated around it. This is one of the first spreads I actually did in it, and I wasn't, at the time I was happy with it because I had used a lot of these insert things, and I had learned how to tip in. That's what I did with this card, but I was still like not used to having it that way, and now it's like weird for me to have a junk journal that doesn't have these little things in it. This was kind of just like a scrap spread. I just really liked the look of how people would use their tea packages and use them as pockets, and I just added 2 of them in case I found some other things I wanted to put in there, but I never did, so now it just shows off what kind of tea I was into at the time, which I still love both of these teas. I have actually bought new boxes of both of those. This one was last... Oh, this is actually a sister spread to something that's back here. I had a busy day that day. It was my day off, and I had actually gone to the river, and I finally sent out the last of the Happy Mails I did these for. So I went out and I burned through like a pack and a half of Instax film, and I took pictures of the Mississippi River since I live right next to it, and I wrote about how I went, and I took photos for my pen pals to send in their Happy Mail so they could have a piece of where I live with them. And then I said how I went to the Highland Games with Amelia, which there's a whole spread for that later on. This was just a really pretty note that I got from Denise and her big Happy Mail she sent me. This is actually an older thing I did, but these are tickets from when Austin and I went to Wildlife Prairie Park, and we went with some of our friends. It doesn't have a date on here though, it makes me sad. And, you know, they have like actual punches in them and stuff, and this little tag thing was just already in here whenever I received the journal, so I just stuck them right in there. They fit so good. And also early attempts at lettering. Gross. And then later on, I had reflected on the back of this tag along with a watercolor I did. I added this later. I put these in almost this was almost one of the first things I had stuck in my journal were these 2 tags because they were sitting around and I wanted somewhere to keep them. So I put them in here. And then like months later did this back part because I still remembered everything. Whenever I'm in the mood to junk journal, I'll just go through pages and just add little things like washi. This was lace tape from Kayla and stuff. And this was just one that I was having a really bad couple weeks with work and just figuring stuff out and just life in general pretty much. And this was actually washi tape from a package that Caitlin sent me. I just cut off the package and taped in there. But my dad had left me this note, and I just thought it was a perfect little spot right there for it. So that's that little spread. I actually really like how this looks. I think it's cute. And this was a spread, I think I was finally understanding junk journaling. Like something finally clicked in my brain, and all of a sudden this happened, and it looks amazing. And it was the first spread I was actually really proud of and felt like I knew what I was doing with it. So this was about the trip I took to Macomb. I went to go see my friend's artwork in his student show, and we ended up getting to the place late, and because we thought they were open later, and they closed early because there weren't a lot of people there, so I actually never even got to see what I went to go look at. But we ended up going to Earth Fest and a couple different parks. I ended up just like looking around the campus of the college and hanging out with my friends who went there, because I know a lot of people who go there. And this was just my receipt from that. I journaled about it here and here. This is a little card I think I got in a little set. I don't know if it's the Happy Life, whatever it is, I don't really know, but it has date, who was there, where, and notes about it. So This is where I kind of got the hang of layering stuff and figuring out what looks good with what. But I mean, like I said, there's no wrong way to junk journal, I don't think, but there was definitely a process of finding my style with junk journaling that was really awkward, and it was almost like puberty, like, I don't know what I'm doing, what's going on, but now I love junk journaling, it's so much fun. I'll usually do it, I think I did half of this journal while I was playing D&D, to be completely honest, like, we do D&D online, so like they can't see what I'm doing anyway, so I would just do it while waiting for my turn. This is the Highland Games one that went with, where did it go? It went with this little spread. This one and this one were the same day, so you can see they're not like in any order whatsoever. But this was actually on her birthday. It was for her birthday that we went to the Highland Games. This was part of the flyer. It was so funny. I told her, I was like, hey, I'm stealing this flyer so I can cut it apart. She's like, okay, cool. Like, we've been friends for literally almost 2 decades. So, that's one, that's really weird to think about. And two, like, she knows that I'm artsy and stuff. So she just goes with it. She's amazing. So that was the first part. This is actually part 2 of the spread. This is a little spread I did for my first succulent, who was named Princess Herbie, with a bunch of washi tape stuff on it. This was a to-do list I just stuck in here for whenever I went to Milltown one day, just to remember what all I was working on. On the back here I have the rest of the stuff from Amelia's birthday, so I had actually gotten her a replica of the Hogwarts acceptance letter for her birthday. And she's like, I knew it was just lost in the mail for like 10 plus years. So that's that part. And then on the back here I have the picture of the sheep that were on the flyer, because they did have animals there. And I just wrote about what we did. You know, she was a seasoned veteran at this Highland Games thing, so I was just going for the ride and experiencing it. It was super fun. We got to see Irish bloodhounds. she flirted with the blacksmiths, you know. It was fun. So that was just all kind of part 3 and 4 of that spread. This is actually one of the first spreads I did in here too. We did a tea party for Mary Kay at our director's house. This was another spread where I felt like something clicked and I was understanding junk journaling better. This was Easter, actually, of last year, and it was a really kind of different Easter. It was actually the first Easter where everything just kind of felt really chill. There was no stress, no drama, whatever, at a family event. Crazy, right? So I just journaled about it, found some Easter-y looking stuff for it. These 2 pages were solely just to look pretty, because I needed to be artsy, but I didn't want to get all of my art stuff out, so I made this little tag. I drew these. I wanted something summery and springy and just bright colored and fresh looking, so that's what these are. This is just me practicing with layering paper, pretty much, and washi tape. This one is actually kind of a rant, but just also a memory keeping moment. Like, after I graduated, I haven't really done fine art since I graduated. I really haven't, and I was trying to get into it again, and I just did this little like brain dump rants page where, you know, this was the swatch page and just practice little strip I did for a piece I actually gave to one of my professors at the end of the year who left. And I told myself I was going to make 3 more pieces for the other professors since they were all part of the art department stuff. And this was just me getting my feels out along with this. But, you know, I mean, it's just a swatch page and a little bit of this, and I knew it was like I was sent back to that time and I remembered everything about it. You know, it's really cool. This is solely pretty. I just really liked how that turned out. This is all Happy Mail stuff and just scrap stuff that I found. This is actually a coloring piece that was actually put into the journal, but I just left it black and white. This part actually kind of goes with that one. These were the little flyers we made for the art department stuff going on. There was a big bug in my room, and at like 1 in the morning it ended up like showing itself, and I was awake and I was like, oh heck no. So I tried finding it. It was like big. It was like one of those big long silverfish that are like 6 inches long that like just crawl. Ugh, gross. Anyway, but my dad, I told my dad about it. I woke him up. I was like, Dad, help, please. I can't. So my dad wrote me a note in the morning. It was like, I got him in the bathroom. So he found him. I mean, that thing had meat on it. Just gross. Then someone made me, I really feel bad because I don't remember exactly who it was. I want to say it came in my Denise Happy Mail. That was huge. And she did my username handle on Instagram. And I love this. So, and it fit perfectly right here. It was perfect right there. And then the backside here is just some scraps. Like this is from my last life term wrapper. This is from a Happy Mail Caitlin sent me. And this is just a little scrap. So, that was my first junk journal. I love how this turned out. I am so happy I finally just decided to go for it and just not care. It was like a switch happened in my brain and I was able to actually junk journal and not worry about it, and it was great. So thank you for watching. I know this was a little bit different, but if you guys do want to see more junk journal stuff, feel free to let me know and click the like button so I can figure out which videos you guys like better. I did do a couple journal with me's from this journal, but I noticed that they didn't really get the views I thought they would, so that's why I stopped doing them. But if you all want to see them more, let me know and I'll try and do more for my next one. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!